to the Mind Duck Japan podcast.
Episode 8.
I thought it was 9.
8. It's been 2 months since the last episode.
Whoa.
We're doing really good at this.
You're slow.
There's been typhoons and all types of stuff. So we're recording this episode fairly quickly after the other episode. It's going to be 7 and 8. And to start with today, I'd like to quickly look at what has changed after half year of living in Japan. So to me, cow piss started to taste normal.
Yeah.
It scared me.
Yeah, cow piss is pretty good.
Cow piss tastes like it's a normal thing now. Also, Pocari Sweat. I like Pocari Sweat.
Yeah.
Do you drink that sometimes?
Nah, I prefer cow piss.
So, on the topic of food, what started bothering me, maybe also you, is that all the food is really mushy, really soft, and you cannot find any hard food. So I have to I have to munch on carrots, burn bread to have the feeling of munching on something hard, because there isn't anything hard in Japan. And I asked many people, and they were always like, and we came to the conclusion that nothing is hard. Like, I like Czech bread, which is difficult to chew on, but you cannot buy this here. You cannot. Just cannot. You always go to a bakery and you find a baguette that looks like it could be like a little bit harder, or like these breads that have like thick crust, and you feel like it's going to be hard, and you touch it, it's like cake. It's like fucking cake. It's so soft.
But I like soft bread because when I was in high school, we had this bread, and if you squished it, it turned back into dough.
Yeah, that happens with almost all bread here. I love the white soft bread. They have it in Italy, and it smells really good, and it's more like cake. It's kind of sweet, so yeah.
It's not like cake, but it is sweeter than other bread.
Compared to Czech bread, it's like cake.
God.
so yeah, one more thing that changed. I feel like I'm being properly Japanized, because I apologize everywhere too much, and it's just like the instinct. Anything happens, just apologize quickly.
Yeah, I'm like bowing to foreigners now and saying "sumimasen."
So one day I went around the corner and somebody ran into me by bike, and normally I would be like, oh, fuck it is, what the fuck? Just I would like push him away or something. But now I jumped away and I was like, "Sumimasen, sumimasen, sumimasen."
Yeah.
So that changed. So this episode, finally, it's happening. The thing I said on episode 2 or 3 or one of those, Sounds of Japan. Since I've come here, I have been recording different clips of different stuff. And finally, this episode is going to be all about sounds in Japan. So get ready, there's going to be a quiz.
Language Quirk.
So this month or whatever on Language Quirk, I'd like to talk about more sounds that people make in Japan. It's all types of weird sounds. And
そうですね。
one of the biggest quirks that you will see in any shop, in any bus, very often when you talk to people, is they don't end the last word of the sentence. They just keep going with the last tone of the last syllable.
そうだよ。
And the most annoying thing is in the shops. So when you go into a shop, it might sound something like this. So let's listen to the first clip.
いらっしゃいませ。
This is real. This is what we hear. Our ears get raped with this every time we go into the shop. It's awful.
So basically, anytime you enter a shop, everybody's like, "Irashaimase." And then other people are, "Irashaimase."
When you leave, they also do like gozaimasu.
Yeah. So let's look at another clip where people are thanking me in the restaurant.
Oh no.
It's not very loud. But basically people just either keep going or they don't say anything and they just say the last syllable. So it's either one of those. So if you want to say arigatou gozaimasu, so either you will hear arigatou gozaimasu or you will hear arigatou gozaimasu.
You also hear like 15 people say mas mas mas.
Yeah. So yeah, so there's one more. One more arigato. Arigatou gozaimasu. Arigatou gozaimasu. Arigatou gozaimasu. I have like 5 minutes of this. Do you know where this is?
No.
This is in a bus.
Oh, yeah.
So where we enter a bus, we scan the card, we swipe the card, and we exit the bus. You go to the driver, and anybody who swipes the card, to every person, he personally says "arigatou gozaimasu." But because
He sounds so fed up with it.
yeah, this is another thing I want to talk about. So people are like at the train stations and the buses. I feel like they're consoling me. Like after I go home from work, they always say like the door is closing or thank you very much. And they always have this tone like a mother is trying to put a baby to sleep. They're always like, "Doa ga shimarimasu. Arigatou gozaimasu."
But I always thought it was just like they sound fed up with their job, like they're done for the day.
It
Not
could
like they're
be.
consoling me. They just sound like they're done with this
I feel
shit.
consoled. I feel like somebody is feeling bad for me because I worked so hard and they're like, "Shimarimasu." Like, so that happens a lot.
I hear like a broken soul from having to say it so many freaking times.
And yeah, somebody even does it. Taka from the last episode, he sends me messages in Japanese and he always makes the last syllable long. So he always says "ine" or "yatta ne." So even in text people say that.
Yeah.
So I should learn it. I should do ne. And the other day we were walking somewhere and two women were having a conversation and they kept doing just a ne, 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 ne. So the one person is doing and you want to say like, yeah, exactly. So we do ne.
Traveling tips.
This week on Traveling Tips, don't ask for help or you will get help.
Yeah. Careful what you wish for in Japan.
Or just don't do shit and just let other people do it for you. That's the way to go. So I never did that before. In Czech Republic, I would always be like, oh my god, I can't. I do some research and I have to like look for it myself. God forbid I ask the shop assistant. And now I'm just fed up with it. So the first thing I do in a shop, I just look for the shop assistant and just tell them what to do, and they just fill my shopping basket with stuff. And I don't even go shopping. And it goes to extreme levels.
Yeah.
So that is a thing that happened to Chan.
Yeah. Jeez. So guys, I was just trying to better myself in Japanese, so I thought I'd get a language textbook that I enjoy, the next volume. Little did I know that a giant bookstore wouldn't have the book that I wanted. So I went up to the counter and I asked the guy, I was like, hey, do you have this book? but in Japanese, of course. And he was like, and he went to go look up this book. Then he ran back frantically, and I showed him a picture of the book because I figured he wouldn't be able to find it. And he was like, thank you. And he ran back again to go look for this book. And so I'm like holding up the line. I mean, thankfully there's other cashiers, but he comes back in like 2 minutes with another guy. And this guy, he like speaks English kind of. And he was like, this book not here now. We order this one for you, the others here. And they pulled out a map and they're showing me the other bookstore that's part of this bookstore, but it's disconnected under the subway dungeon. So they showed me the map, and as they were showing me the map, their faces changed from smiles and perkiness to slowly like distraught, like as if I was about to kill them, as they realized, oh my God, she might not be able to find the way. And so they immediately threw the map down, and the one was like, I take you there. And then he left his job. And he took me through the subway place, and I was like, "Sumimasen deshita." Like, it was like, sorry for the trouble. And he was like, no. And he was like, it's okay. And we walked for like 5 minutes to the other place. And then, like, he told that shop attendant there, he was like, I'm looking for these books. And they went and got the books. And then he got the books. And he handed me the books. And then he was bowing to me, like, as if I did him a favor. And then he left. And I bought my books and I went home.
Yay! How long did this whole debacle take?
Like 10 or 15 minutes. But I mean, I can't complain, I guess. He was very stressed out. They all were, and sweating by the end of it. But so whatever. I shouldn't have asked for help. Shame on me.
This is the only time this happened. It happened to me a few times as well. You just ask for something and cause a ruckus. Like I learned how to cook tempura, and I wanted to have the tempura sauce. And my Japanese friend wrote on a piece of paper, like, you want this sauce? It's better because I don't know what. And I don't know what this is. So I went into the shop, and there's a shelf of sauces. And I said, like, sumimasen, is it this? And I want to cook tempura and just dip it in this. And I had the same thing on the paper, and the guy was like, I don't know. But let me help you. And he kept like jumping up and running around, and I kept saying like, okay, but it says tempura here, so is it for tempura? He says, yes, but we have to find the right thing. And I kept saying, but it's okay, I want to know if it's this type of the thing. And he kept freaking out, and I just told him, it's okay, I just take this. And I kept walking away with the thing in my hand, and he kept saying, shut up, like, wait a minute, I'll ask my manager. And he went to get his manager from the storage place in the supermarket. He dragged him over, and he was like, okay, is it this? And he said, no, but it's okay. And I said, okay, thank you. And then I left for nothing.
I don't understand.
So, yeah.
I just don't understand.
And I never feel like the people are uncomfortable. Well, the guy at the bookstore was obviously uncomfortable. But every time somebody helps you like that, it always looks like they're kind of having fun with it or something. Maybe they're too bored at the supermarket and they finally have something to do. I don't know. So it's not like you're abusing them. It's just, I don't know, it's strange.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes people are completely calm. They've had other experiences like this. It's just the fact that you just can't say no to them once you've started this. Like, if you know for sure that you want help in Japan, then go ahead. But if you're on the fence about it at all, like, maybe I don't want help, don't you dare ask anyone anything. Don't do it. You just go down the rabbit hole and you just can't get back out.
Okay.
What happened last week?
Okay, so on the news, loads of things are happening as usual. So a couple of things I want to talk about, and after that there's going to be finally a quiz about sounds. But first, important news, such as I'm being fed up with cute things. It's cute everything. cute everywhere. I can't deal with it.
Kawaii na.
Oh God. So I've decided to make an album to cope.
美しいですね。
I can't deal with this shit.
素敵わI hate this sound.
This is how I feel when I am overloaded with cuteness. So to cope with my problems, I've decided to make like a therapy album. It's going to be called Cuteness Overload, and I'm going to upload all pictures that are too cute that I can't deal with. So you can find the picture on Facebook, or you can find it on the website. And I keep adding pictures to this album. It's going to be infinite. There's obviously a link in the podcast notes. Another thing I want to talk about.
ありがとうございます。
Another thing I want to talk about is bags. I'm
Ah, Jesus. Jesus Christ.
I hate the bags.
Me too.
Everywhere.
So many bags.
So if you go to a shop, they always give you plastic bags, and it's okay. It's okay, but sometimes it's not okay. They give you more bags, and you feel like it's not okay, but then they give you more bags.
It's insane.
So
You can even give them this card. They have this card that says no bags. And you put the card in your cart, and they're not supposed to give you a bag.
Okay, so
And then they ask you, they're like, well, do you want a bag? No, the card is there. I don't want a bag. And then they still bag stuff. If it's like sushi or something, they put it in a little bag. Like a really tiny bag that has no handles, so you can't even grip it. So your stuff is slipping out of it, and it's in this unnecessary bag. What's this bag?
it's all the bags. So usually you get one bag for the groceries, but here you get like little bags of groceries in bags of groceries, and then in a big bag in all of the bags.
But the Daiso today, even
Yeah.
Daiso.
Yeah. Daiso is a 100 yen store that has all the cheap things. It's nice. They bag things in bag and then more bags. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. What I was saying. So usually you go into the shop, you get to the counter, you want to pay, and they have the bags ready, and they put in the bags, and they put this fucking piece of tape, and they tape the bag on the top. There are like two flaps on the plastic bag on the top, in between the handles, and they just fold them over each other, and they tape it with a duct tape. And they do it so quick, they are so good at this. And it's so infuriating because you don't want this bag, you have a backpack, but they still tape it over. And if you go to a pharmacy, somehow they feel like other people can't see what medicine you're buying. So first you have like some pills, and they're already in a cardboard box, which is wrapped in plastic. And then they put it in a paper bag so people don't see it. And then this paper bag they put in a smaller plastic bag and do the flap duct tape bullshit to tape it over so it doesn't fall out. And then you have this package, and then you put it in a bigger bag so you can actually carry it. I just like so that's awful. And sometimes when you go to a cake shop and you buy a cake, they ask you, do you want ice? And I was like, why would I want ice? I was bought a cake. Fuck yourself with this ice. And then they keep holding in their hands like more bags. Like, do you want more bags and ice in them? And it's for like in hot weather the cake wouldn't melt, so they like surround the cardboard box in a plastic box in a paper plastic bag with other plastic bags that are ice with them in them that have ice in them. And then there is a bigger bag, and all of this is in this bigger bag.
Matryoshka bags.
Yes. That's it. That's absolutely it. So I am determined to not have the bags. I always have a backpack, and I don't want the bags. So I do everything in my power to not take those bags. And I say, no bags. But they still give me the bags. And as Chen said, there is the bag. So I have many episodes where I go shopping, and I'm determined. I'm not getting the bag this time. I'm not getting this bag. So what I do is I am like brushing up on my Japanese. I have all the phrases how to say I don't want any bag. And as soon as they start taking the products, I'm like, no, just. And they still put it in the fucking bag. And then I put the card that says no bag on the table, and they still ask me for bags. What the fuck? And once, I swear to God, I was so ready not to put this in the bag. And I just had one bottle of tea. And I was... it's the tea from the hot shelf, by the way. It was so good, but never mind. And I wanted to put it just on the counter, and I take it, swipe it away. I was planning this. I was planning to give the money there and then take the bottle. I don't care if they think I'm stealing. I will just take the bottle and not let them baggage it. And I was so confident. I went to the counter and I took the bottle and I put it like confidently and like really aggressively on the counter, and I kept holding it so they wouldn't be able to put it in the bag. Little did I know that the girl who was ready was really fast and like hardworking, because there was a long line, and she already had the bag in her hand. She had it open and ready, and as I went over, looking at her like resolute with my like newly found confidence, little did I know that I put the bottle in the tea on the bag she had ready and open. And she just did like zip, and it was in the bag. I was like, fuck you!
You should use my powers. I always make them feel really bad. And I turn my eyebrows like upward in the middle and like look really sad and and they take the bag away. They take it away. Even the useless bag. I just get tired sometimes, but they take it away.
Okay, so let's stop talking about bags. It's getting me too riled up.
Okay.
So have you got any news?
Yes! Real news.
Okay.
In fact, the other day, Philip almost got me killed by this like terrifying face man-eating insect called a HAWK moth. HAWK moths. It's in the name. It's so there's this creature, and it looks like a hummingbird, but it's an insect. It even flies like a hummingbird, and it eats like a hummingbird, but it's got antennas, and it's got this freakish face, and it's more wobbly, and ew, it's sickening. It's the ugliest, filthiest thing I've ever seen. And Philip was like, "Oh, look, it's a hummingbird," and I was like, "No, fuck it, it's not a hummingbird." And yes, it was awful.
It looks so weird.
They're awful. So don't come here in autumn. That's when the HAWK moths come in. It's not even the season for hummingbirds. What's wrong with you? Hummingbirds come out in the spring.
I've never seen a hummingbird in real life, and these look nice. I think they're kind of...
No, ew. Go look it up now. Google it. HAWK moths, and you'll be like, "What the fuck, Philip? What the fuck?"
So he put some pictures up.
Ugh.
It looks so strange because they can like hover in.
They're awful.
And they like go in blossoms, and it's interesting.
Ew.
They look like birds, but they're insects. And it's a moth, and they have like moth wings, but they have this like thing that they used to suck.
Yeah, it's awful. They got that blood sucking thing that butterflies do. You ever see a butterfly mouse? It's the same mouse. Fucking disgusting vampiric insects.
By the way, many girls want to be princesses and appreciate like beautiful animals sitting on them. Like if a girl would be wearing a nice dress and a butterfly landed on her arm, then she would be like, yeah.
If a butterfly lands on me, I'm throwing it on the ground.
So not Chen, obviously. Okay.
Butterflies aren't cute, and neither are HAWK moths. End of story.
Okay. So that's about it for the news, I think. Oh yeah, one more thing. I want to say that my mission to teach the Japanese students how to say no is finally paying off. Some students finally started saying no, and they weirdly enjoy it because of me. Because because we like talked about with some of the higher level students like how it's inappropriate to say no in Japanese, and then I'm always like, but it's okay, you can say it's okay, you can do it, it's okay, just say no. And I keep asking them more and more ridiculous questions, and it's always this lesson like they should learn to answer for favors and requests and stuff, and I always like, would you like to go bungee jumping? And I go, of course, but. And then they, do you really want to go bungee jumping? And yes, but. And then I just say, could I borrow your car for a year? And they're like, And then finally some of those students break and they just say no. And they're like, no, I don't like it. And they feel so, you can see it in their face.
Liberated.
They feel liberated. So I'm doing it. I'm doing the world justice. I feel like the Japanese students, they will have a better life. They'll speak English, they will finally say no. And there's this one lady, and she doesn't speak Japanese at all, English very much. She speaks Japanese very well, obviously. But she liked it, and I like her for it. I always ask her some questions, and she's like, no. And I ask her, do you want a cat? No. Do you want to go on a trip to Africa? No. I love it. And she always has this smile, and she always says, no. So she gets it. So that's finally happening.
Sounds of Japan.
Finally doing it. I have loads of clips. So the thing is, I'm going to play a clip, and Chen's gonna guess what it's about. It's going to be a question. If you're at home listening and you've been to Japan and you wanna try it, so feel free. There'll be some time to guess what it is. So.
みんな助けてお願い
Okay. So I'm gonna play a sound that I recorded somewhere in Japan, and there's going to be a question. And... Okay. There is a lot of places in Japan, they have specific sounds for specific places. So let's start with something straight away. And then there's going to be always a quick note or comment why this sound exists. So let's start with something very easy. So first sound, let's see if Chen knows where this is from.
Ooh, I know this. Let's
listen once again.
Do more. Isn't that our doorbell or something?
It's something that happens when you go through a certain door.
Oh, it's at the convenience store. Our doorbell sounds similar.
But can you guess which one?
Oh, son
Just
of a
like
bitch.
an advertisement. I
Family
guess.
Mart?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
correct. I hate this so much. I hate it. Because every time I go to work, there is always a sequence of sounds. And this is one of them. If you accidentally get breakfast at the Family Mart, you always get greeted by this. And I always am tired after work or in the morning, and it's always like... I'm like, ah.
So I got it?
Yeah.
Yatta!
1 point for Chen.
Okay.
So each store, they have a tune. So let's look at another store. So what do you think, where is this from?
Oh. I've heard it. I hear it all the time,
Yeah.
but I don't know where I'm at. Let me think. Let me think. Is this the Maruetsu?
No.
Where the fuck's this?
It's like a very specific store.
But I've heard it so many times.
Yeah, me too.
Do I go with you?
Yes.
To the store? A lot?
Not a lot, but recently a lot.
Recently a lot.
It's like a series of shops, and they all have this song all in them.
Series of them?
Different types of shops that are all in one group of shops.
Yoshinoya?
No.
What is this shop?
It's like something something shop, something something shop, something something shop. It's...
Oh, the hard offs.
Yeah.
This is it. Oh yeah, hard offs. Got it.
So this is
Whoa.
this is a discount store. There you can get cheap hardware, and you can get also cheap second-hand clothes that's mowed off. Then you can get cheap second-hand furniture that's hobby off.
There's even liquor off.
There's liquor off.
I'll let you guess what that means.
Maybe
Used liquor.
We never knew what this was about, and finally we went in there, and they have used like.
No, leave it to the imagination. You let them come in and figure it out.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Alright, so one more store. It's going to be really easy.
Is it though? 難しいなぁ。What the fuck's this? ？This is.
I'll just skip.
Ah, it has a song? I've never heard the song ever. Don Quixote. What?
Of course it's a song.
I never heard it.
It's always in there. You can't get rid of it.
I think my eyes are just always like overloaded that I can't hear anything. Wow. Don Quixote. Dun 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 donkey. It's a new favorite jam right there.
Yeah. So personally, I hate these fucking theme songs.
But you really hate the one underneath our work.
I was just about to say. So this like conditions you to be insane because the commercials repeat themselves and the tunes repeat themselves. Every time you walk into a fucking Family Mart, you hear this theme song, and then there's Don Quixote theme songs and all these Family Mart theme songs. It's all the same. And if you go to your job at the same time every morning, you can get the same exact spot in the song, in the same exact place. Synchronized with the same exact advertisement. And there is a shopping supermarket where I tried to record this, but it was too loud. But they play like this, like instrumental jazz pop some bullshit, and it's like a soundtrack in a sitcom. You just walk in the supermarket and it's doing like, and I feel like I'm dying because I'm tired after the job. And then there is an advert for cheese, and they show these cheeses, and the guy pops up, and he does, and I can't stand this. I always go, I have a headache after working all day, and I'm like walking in the supermarket, getting some food, and it's always like somebody's laughing at me. There's always like somebody playing the trumpets, and it's like, and the moment I'm feeling the worst, like after this, then somebody does. I can't deal with this shit. So I don't go to this shop anymore. That's how much I hate it. I don't go to this shop ever again.
But it's so convenient.
I hate it. So if you work in Japan, your life is gradually becoming a sitcom or like a television show with like background soundtrack music. And everywhere you go, there's always the same soundtrack. So we went to a stop at the Tokyo line, which is called Motosumiyoshi. And there are streets, and they have theme songs. And one of the theme songs is literally like a starting of an American sitcom. And it's called the Wizard of Oz Street or something.
Yeah. And it sounds like you're like walking in the like Mary Tyler Moore show or something. It's all lighthearted and skippy and
yeah. And obviously the street where I live is classical music. That's from the first episode. So it's all full of theme songs in Japan. So, okay, that was the shops. So let's move on to some other things.
More sounds? You got more sounds?
I got too many. So where do you think this is from?
station, all the fake birds.
So there is one more recording.
What's a cuckoo clock?
This at the station.
That one's at the station, but the other was the
Both.
station. Oh God, this is worse.
So in Japan, you have different sounds to signal different things. So if you go to a train station, there's this sound like beeping, dinging. So you can like find the train station just by listening. And then there is these birds, and every station there are fake bird chirps and like whistles. And I was like, why do they have all these birds? And it sounds real, but it repeats, and no bird can make the same sound so regularly. So then I figured out it's fake. There are different types of birds on different stations. And then I found out on the internet that it's actually for the exit. So if you're blind and you want to get out of the train station, just follow the birds. It's so strange. It's like a bird loudspeaker. So if you get in it, not in it, too close to it, you find the exit. But what if a bird that had the same chirp sat on the opposite of the track, of the railway track? And then the blind people would just march forward and fall onto the railway tracks and get killed.
Yeah. Maybe it's a good thing Japan doesn't have mockingbirds then. Or do they?
Maybe.
Ooh.
So that's strange. Okay. So let's move on to other sound. So let's try this one.
Oh, it's not bad. It's nice. Is that the Shibuya enter the train sound? Like you need to get on the train or something?
No, but close. It's something on the train station. So let me skip. There is the same type of sound but different station.
Like the train's going to leave or something, right? Like the before the door closes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
You need to get on the train.
It's the train station theme song.
Yeah.
Or tune. So,
Yeah, ours sucks, but these are okay.
So let's listen to some more.
Oh, that's awful. Oh, God.
That's awful. That's Shin
That's
Okubo.
horrible. That's kind of fun. That was nice. I like that.
Yeah, so basically every single station in Japan has a theme song, like a tune, so you can recognize the station just by listening.
But some of them really suck. Like ours is average, but some of them suck.
So, yeah, this one was from Maguro, by the way. And some of them are really serious, some of them sound like from a Harry Potter movie, some of them sound... Yeah, it's strange. But weirdly interesting that all the sounds, they just condition you so you can, like, I guess subconsciously know where you are or just have a sense of what's happening around you because the sounds are always, like, the same place, the same thing. So, one more sound is this. I don't know if you can hear it.
Sort of. Just chirping? Is there more to it?
That is it, just chirping.
I don't know. Is that another transmission thing?
No.
No. Oh, wait. I've heard this. I think. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
What is the sound? Is that the crossing the street?
Yeah,
The crossing signal
10
thing?
points.
Yeah.
10 points for Chen.
Nice.
Great. Alright, so on to more weird sounds. So, for example, this.
Are those cicadas?
Yeah, that's easy.
Ugh.
So these are
Too many.
many types of cicadas. So this is one type. Second type. This is my favorite cicada sound. Sounds like they're laughing at you. Yeah, so then you get all types of bird sounds. So can you guess what bird is this?
All those blackbirds out
Yes.
there.
Are there crows?
I guess they're Japanese crows. It's just that they don't look like, well, like, of course, the crows in the USA, so I don't know if they're blackbirds or if they're crows.
I think they're crows. They're really huge. Like,
Yeah.
if you're from the Czech Republic, I feel like it's twice or 3 times as big.
What's wrong with yours, crows?
I
You got
know.
baby crows.
And sometimes they just sit like 10 crows on a pole and they just start.
A murder of crows.
Yeah. They're about to murder your ass. It's kind of scary. When I walked alone to many places, it was somehow really eerie. There's all these crows and they're just so loud. And once I was in a forest at a shrine, and because I just walk all over the place alone, and it's usually late because I can't get up. Mm-hmm. It was sunset and it started to be dark, and the huge crow just flew over and sat above me on the torii, the gate at the shrine in the middle of the forest, and nobody was there. And it did like this loud like, ah! I was like, what the fuck, I'm dying! So I got kind of scared of the crows. But they don't attack you, so it's okay.
No, as long as you don't bother them, they don't bother you.
Okay, so one more sound, and then we're finished. So, what is this?
Isn't it all those like kids practicing or adults practicing their, I don't know, some sort of martial arts?
Yeah.
It's awful. Like, what is that?
So what martial art is it? Can you guess?
I have no idea. I guess the kendo
Yeah,
with the stick.
that's it, correct. So before you slice your opponent in half with a katana, this is what the sound
Do
you
you
make.
like scream like a banshee?
Yes. So you do yeah, and then you hit somebody. So this is happening a few blocks from my house. So that's it for Sounds of Japan. We might do this again. So I guess you got almost everything right.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Like a boss.
Thanks for doing the quiz.
Food and drinks.
This time on food, we will first time do something nice. I think I haven't done anything actually nice.
Japan has lots of good food. It's awesome.
So
I just like to find weird stuff.
I'd like to talk about tuna. I have had the best tuna in my life. And it was in Miura, which is south from Yokohama, south from Tokyo. It's a small port town. You can buy this ticket. That's a 1-day ticket for 2,400 yen. And you can do loads of stuff. And the traveling is for free. And there is a huge tuna meal in a beautiful restaurant. Highly recommend it.
Before we go on, just a fun fact for you. You can cut it out if you like. Tuna and American English slang can mean like a girl because they think like, you know, fish now. So you had some of the best tuna of your life. What kind of tuna? I mean, you said you went to another town to get it, so I'm curious.
It definitely was the best tuna I've ever had in my life.
Okay. All right then.
So I never had much raw fish, and I really love it. I feel like raw fish is my favorite Japanese food, and there's loads of Japanese food I like. So you can get like regular tuna, which is kind of dark red color meat.
It's the raw one.
The raw one, and then you can buy like fatty tuna that's kind of pinkish, and then you can get like even more fat tuna that's like really light pink.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff.
Yeah, it's the stuff.
It's really expensive.
It's good though.
It tastes like cake. It's so strange.
You think everything tastes like cake?
It's so
it tastes like cake, but it is good.
It's really soft and really nice taste. I never understood the whole umami thing. Like they say it's not
Wait a
the
minute,
taste.
what does cake taste like? The Czech Republic that you think everything tastes like cake? Like, what is it like? It must taste like dirt. It's like, what?
Yeah, everything tastes like dirt, and then finally you get cake, and you're like, yay, this is cake. So by it tastes like cake, I mean like it's really nice and soft. Like it's really nice.
Okay.
And I never got any idea why people love this umami thing so much. So people say it's like this metallic meat flavor of raw meat.
Yeah.
And I never got it. Now I get it. It's so good.
Yeah. I love it.
So if you are scared of eating raw meat, this doesn't taste like anything you would imagine. Just you have to either pay for it a lot, I guess, in other country, or just come to Japan and have it cheap every day. So highly recommend it. Tuna from a like high quality source that's raw. Just try it. Trust me. And we had also grilled tuna and boiled tuna and deep fried tuna.
Oh, that's the best one! The deep fried tuna. I mean, I'm American. We like deep fried stuff. Get yourself some deep fried tuna when you come to Japan. Bermuda.
It was awesome. So if you are in Japan and are looking for a one-day trip around Tokyo, I really recommend, or we really recommend, one-day trip to Miura. You can buy it in Yokohama or other places.
Yeah, you can buy it at different stations from the KQ line. It's a KQ line Maguro one-day trip ticket.
Yeah, thank you. That's exactly what I meant to say. I didn't know what it's called. So do that. You can go to an aquarium, a short boat trip to see the fish. You can travel by bus and train for free all day. It's really nice.
Just by bus all day, not for train all day.
Oh, sorry. It's not by bus. But
you can pick the different activities you can do. You can pick for 32 restaurants and 18 activities.
They should pay out for these advertisements.
Yeah, they should pay us.
Okay.
It's the brand name of the week. Get ready, it will be weird.
Exciting lip space. Oh, yeah. Take your lips on a ride. They'll surely remember. Yeah. It's almost too much to handle. Yeah. There it is. There's your ad.
So, just to clarify, we don't know what this place is. It's called Lip Space, and below it says exciting. Right? So, exciting lip space.
Oh, yeah.
Japanese video.
Okay, so Chen has changed my life. Finally, watched some anime. I've never watched so many anime.
Yeah!
I watched Samurai Champloo, which we might talk about in the future.
Oh, I like Samurai Champloo.
So on the other episodes, but I have never watched any other anime much that I actually liked, and and now finally I'm watching.
Snub.
Yeah. So other thing we watched is Haibane Renmei.
Yeah, you're not saying it right. Renmei.
Renmei.
Like the NM nasal thing. Renmei.
Renmei.
Haibane Renmei.
Haibane Renmei.
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 Haibane Renmei.
Haibane Renmei. Okay. So we watched 4 episodes. It's only 13 episodes. It's
old.
It's for me because it's old and and there is no action so far. So I understand what's happening. The characters look different enough, so I know who is who, and also it makes sense so far. Mm-hmm. So I could explain it, but I guess you should because I'm not good at this and I don't know what's happening.
So basically, even though people argue that it's not slice of life because there's these angel-like people in it, it's a totally slice of life type of anime. And what that means is you take a piece of life and you make a show out of it. A slice of life. Just like that. And it's just about these people, I guess. And they end up in this town. And they don't know where they've been before. And they can come there at any age. Doesn't matter. They might be children or adults or somewhere in between. And they can't remember anything about their lives before except some dream that they had just before they come in. And they grow these wings. And people think they're very lucky. And they kind of look like angels. But they're very humbled. People kind of protect them, but they're also not allowed to, like, get luxurious things or leave the town that they pop up in, and all these different rules that are imposed on them. And it's just following the story of a brand new Haibane that just entered the world, and she's trying to figure things out.
All right. It's interesting so far. It's kind of relaxing, a bit slow for me, but still like it.
It's got an easy sort of pace to it. It is slow, but it doesn't feel slow because there's no suspense factor. You're not waiting for something to happen. You're just watching things happen.
It's sort of like nicely relaxing, and I like it because I can more or less understand it in Japanese.
Yeah, it's got simple enough Japanese that if you're like low, intermediate, or even still beginner, it's kind of easy to understand if you know a lot of grammar.
Absolutely. So if you are learning Japanese, highly recommend it.
Yeah.
And we might follow up on this when we finish watching the 13 episodes. So give it a go. Links and such in the notes. And
don't watch it in English. Good Lord, no. And definitely don't watch it in Czech. I heard your all's dubs.
Vezmu si brambůrek a sním ho.
At least the weirdness, though, mine was better. I'll take a chip and bite it. That's better than perkiness.
Okay.
The thought of the day.
Okay. This time, the thought of the day is there such a thing as emotional hygiene?
What?
So, I've listened to this audiobook and watched a TED Talk from this guy who's, I think, French. And he
This French guy.
I forgot his name, but you can look at it in the links. And it was something I wanted to talk about. And I talked about it with many people. And the thing is that people have all sorts of remedies and techniques and things they do when they get hurt physically. But none of those people have anything they do when they get hurt emotionally or psychologically. And there is so much you can do to cure your body when you had an injury, but there is so little you can do to help yourself if you are hurting emotionally. And the question is there such a thing as having a habit to help yourself hurt less emotionally if you are having problems? And should there be something like that? So he goes all into this and he explains it in detail, and there are even like techniques and recommended things you can do in different situations, like if you're brooding or if you're like what are the problems, like suffering after a breakup,
if you're
or
depressed.
Oh,
Can it be
really.
any emotional thing?
Any emotional thing. So he recommends just for example, if you feel really insecure and like you have this imposter syndrome and you just feel like you're worthless, you just sit down and write a list of things you have accomplished in your life, and you should be doing this on a regular basis, like once a year or once a month or something like that.
I mean, it seems reasonable. I mean, we used to have whack job ways of curing physical ailments. Now we have strict rules, and so I guess people don't know how to cure a lot of their emotional problems. And now he's saying, here are some rules to go about it.
Work. Pretty much. And I'm not sure if they worked. I've tried loads of things after my breakup a year ago.
But then you got yourself a Chan.
So Chan's the best cure for emotional problems.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, I feel like there really should be something that people like turn back to when they are feeling desperate. Because you just ignore it. You just, you do the things people do. You get drunk, you overeat, you watch a movie, you go do sports. I don't know. You do all this shit. And people say, oh, it will heal with time, or, oh, you just have to like rest and come to terms with it, or whatever. But what he says and other people said in other TED Talks is that it doesn't really matter. The time doesn't matter as much as you think. Obviously it matters, but not as much. You can get over things much faster if you have something to help you. And you can either have to find what actually helps you, or you should do some things that are like generally good to help. And I think there should be something at the back of your mind. Like next time you feel really, really desperate, or really, really sad, or really, really like lazy, or really basically you hit rock bottom. So you should have this like safety thought that you should be doing this now. To help you get out of it. And the thing you should be doing should be something along the lines of remember all the things you have been successful at. Remember what you've done before in life. Remember where you actually are in life, and what are the things you actually have, and who are the people who actually care about you. If you feel like nobody cares about you, choose one of them and just talk to him and try to see how he cares about you, or how she cares about you. It's much easier than you think, at least for me, because you always get these thoughts like, I'm alone and I don't have any friends and nothing makes sense. But just have a connection with somebody and it helps so much. So that's the thought of the day. Just practice emotional hygiene. I said on one of the podcasts that I don't care about hygiene on the list of what a Japanese girlfriend would have to have. So, like, body hygiene is not on the list. But emotional hygiene, I feel like, should be there. You should be able to take care of yourself mentally. And you should get into the habit of doing something that helps you deal with the shit that goes on in your head. Be it just sitting down and thinking about it and writing something down. And that's the thought of the day. So if you are listening and you feel like replying, tell us what helps you to feel better. And if you actually do anything like that. And if you are interested, definitely have a look at the books and the TED Talk. I'll put all the links in the notes. Any final comment?
No, not exactly.
Okay.
Just thinking about the thought of the day.
Japanese music.
So, thank you again for listening to the end of episode 8.
Why not thank them for listening to the whole episode?
Thank you for listening to the whole episode. And thank you so much for still doing this. Are you a regular on the show now? We'll see. So the future plans for this podcast is I am going to continue doing it, and I'm going to worry less about like who is actually listening. So whatever, if you don't like it, don't listen. And it's going to be all over the place, but I'm not going to do such an effort to promote it or whatever. So if you feel like this is useful for you, so great. If you don't, it's fine.
Translation: if you give a rat's ass, you better tell people about the podcast.
Okay.
Stop making us do all the work.
Okay. Other plans is gonna be a quick comic, and you can look for that on the website. And something else. Just cut this plans part out. I don't know.
Oh yeah. So news. There's going to be a comic about this podcast. Sort of.
Okay.
I thought we already talked about it though. Anti-trash.
Yeah,
stuff.
anti-trash
We already
talk.
said it. Yeah.
Anti-trash talk is coming back.
Yeah, along with its main character, Imitation Crab. Yeah, and their nemesis Cilantro.
Nemesis Cilantro.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening, and hopefully see you sooner than in 2 months.
Sayonara! We forgot about the best part in Cuteness Overload. This thing is called Pondalion. Pondalion. And it's this lion, like stuffed animal. And it's so cute. You can take off his mane. Or you can put his mane on. And there's roaring pony Pondalion, and there's not roaring Pondalion, and you only get Pondalion by eating a bunch of Mr. Donuts in a certain amount of time. But he's so cute. Okay, I'm okay. Okay, I love Pondalion. Look it up. P-O-N space D-E space L-I-O-N Pondalion.